Hello, everyone. It's so great to see all the knowledge leaders coming together and sharing knowledge, walking the talk. So first of all, kudos to you guys for coming to sharing the knowledge with each other, and of course, generating new ideas that you could go back and implement. So today, I'm going to share a brief overview of our knowledge management journey at Roche. I'm not able to see the screen. Yeah. So in the next 25 minutes, I'll be sharing the overview of Roche's knowledge management journey, starting with who we are and what we do. What are some of the challenges we face as an organization? I'm sure it's no different from what you face in your sector. How we have dealing with those challenges, what was our approach to knowledge management, and I will also provide a brief overview of the digital workspace solution and the knowledge management ecosystem that we have put in place to address those knowledge management challenges. So the key takeaway from the introduction to Roche is that Roche is a huge company, both in terms of revenue and in terms of headcounts. We are the leaders in the diagnostic. We are the leader in the diagnostic and pharma industry, and we operate across 100 countries. Roche Pharma's vision is to deliver twice as many medical advances at half the cost to the society. Now, imagine a big pharma company having to spend several hundreds of millions of dollars to research on a drug and launch it onto the market. It takes years to launch a successful drug to the market. Imagine if the scientists, the research and development colleagues are not sharing their learning from one drug development with the other. We are losing time, we are losing money. So achieving this vision requires changing the game of how employees collaborate, how employees exchange knowledge and information to unleash their full potential every day. But there are challenges to that. The biggest challenge is that we are unable to find the right information and the right experts. This is mainly because our knowledge is spread across several hundreds of thousands of business applications, Google Drives, in people's head. It's not, whatever is shared is not curated, it's not categorized. So we take a lot of time to look for this information, find this information. And when they find the information, the quality of the information is also cannot be guaranteed. The second challenge is around the over-dependence on emails and meetings. On an average, Roche employees spend 20% of their time on emails and attending meetings to get the information they need to make a decision or to complete their task. The third challenge is around the gap in the employee experience. I'm sure most of us use social media, Facebook, Instagram, or WhatsApp. All of the tools that we use in our personal lives, they are social, they're connected, they know more than us, about us. The employees of Roche, when they come to work, they expect the technology at work also to be at par with the technology they use at home. So there is a gap, and we need to bridge that gap. And on top of that, we now have a hybrid workforce. What I mean by hybrid workforce is, during the initial days or during the initial months of the pandemic, people were all working from home in remote locations. Now, we have some of the colleagues coming to work, some of them working from home. So this has actually created more challenge with respect to how we collaborate and exchange knowledge and information. On top of all these challenges, Roche as an organization is also transforming. This means that we don't have any more line organizations and fixed job responsibilities. This means that we have to now work across geographies, work in communities and cross-functional teams to deliver what we want to deliver for the organization. To address these challenges, the Digital Transformation Office has created the knowledge management strategy in 2018, and Alicia was asking, is it done? No, it's never done. Knowledge management is an ongoing concern. So since 2018, we have been working on the strategy and executing on the strategy, developing different capabilities and delivering it to the organization. As you might know, knowledge management has many definitions. And knowledge management means different things to different people. So one of our first steps was defining knowledge management. For the purpose of our work, we define knowledge management as an organization's capability to extract, find, share and maintain knowledge of any kind, be it explicit knowledge that resides in repositories or tacit knowledge that resides in people's head. But defining knowledge management was not enough. There was no common dictionary, there was no common language for people to understand what knowledge management is and how is it different from information management, digital asset management, content management, so on and so forth. So we created the knowledge management capability map so that we could map pain points, opportunities that our business was facing against these capability map. So we did interviews around 80 people and did a knowledge audit to understand what their pain points were. And this has actually helped us to understand the commonalities and differences across the organization. We then went ahead and developed a KM maturity model to measure and baseline the current maturity level of the organizations and the various departments in Roche. So the maturity model has 5 levels and 6 KM areas. Behind these 6 KM areas, there are questions that are sent to the users. They answer these questions, and based on the answers we get, we would be able to map the maturity of the organization. Now, delivering KM means putting all 4 building blocks in place, namely people, process, content, and technology. Most often, we focus on the technology aspects. Now, most people believe that KM can be addressed by implementing a technology solution, for example, a search solution or a chatbot. But I believe KM is 80% people and 20% technology. No technology in the world can find the information if people don't share the knowledge. So the focus should be mostly on how we enable the knowledge sharing culture within the organization. So people are the most important part of your KM strategy. So to address these challenges related to the people aspects, we put in place the Knowledge Management Council. I chaired the council. This is a group of knowledge managers across the organization come together, work on frameworks and methodologies to improve knowledge management and knowledge sharing practices within Roche. So these 10 people are not sufficient to make the change around 100,000 employees at Roche. So we need a network of knowledge management ambassadors to help the knowledge management council members. So each council member build a team of 20 to 30 people, build their own knowledge management network of knowledge management ambassadors. So the global strategy that is developed by us gets executed locally within the departments. We also need to understand the processes and ways of working. We need to understand how information is generated, how knowledge is generated and shared. What is the flow of information? We also need to know data, information, and content. We need to know what the content gaps are, how knowledge needs to be curated, how it needs to be categorized. So do we need a taxonomy for the content aspects of knowledge management? And then of course technology. Technology plays an important role in realizing the knowledge management capabilities. That's only one of the enablers, but it plays an important role. A good machine learning AI technology can actually help with some of the manual tasks related to knowledge management. For example, auto curation and auto categorization of content. Personalizing information and knowledge based on people's role, where they are located, how long they have been in the organization. So we used these tools to understand the capability gaps and the investment needs. So a combination of capability map, people, process, technology, and content, the maturity model, which helped us to focus on those areas that requires attention to move forward. It is also important to define a KM goal for your organization, because at the end of the day, we need to show value. What did the KM program deliver? So we have defined knowledge management goal as 70% of relevant information made available to whoever is seeking the information in less than 60 seconds. That means we have to maximize the amount of relevant information in the shortest time possible. But this is also a moving target, because more and more data sources get added. The volume of information is also growing exponentially. So we cannot keep pace with the volume of information that is hitting us. We also define some knowledge management metrics and KPIs to measure adoption, to measure how frequently are they using it, to understand what percentage of information is used and reused. You know, it's easy to say that you share knowledge, but if we do not know exactly whether your knowledge that you shared is being used, people won't be motivated to share further. So it's also important to understand the usage of the knowledge. The output of this KM strategy was a knowledge management ecosystem. So the ecosystem consists of digital products, services, and supporting organizations. So each of these topics can be a 1-hour session. So Smart Search is a federated search engine that we put in place to find information across multiple repositories. I'm working on a solution called Digital Workspace, which I will share a bit more detail in the subsequent slides. But we also have some services like taxonomy development and management services and community management services that the Digital Transformation Office is offering to the functions within Roche. So they don't have to invest for every team, they don't have to invest on these team members. I did speak about the Knowledge Management Council and the Knowledge Management Network that we put in place to look into the people aspects of knowledge management. Now let's have a look at the digital workspace. What is the digital workspace? As I mentioned in the introduction, the future of work is demanding. Our employees have to deliver more complex work in faster-paced business environments across geography boundaries in multidisciplinary teams. This means that information has to be in one place at their fingertips. So this is why we have created the digital workspace. It's a personalized digital work environment to reimagine the future of work at Roche. Think about the digital workspace as the Amazon experience or the Netflix experience for Roche. It is one place to go for personalized information that helps Roche employees save time and collaborate to unleash our collective knowledge and information. A survey done by Salesforce shows that on an average, employees spend 60 minutes logging into multiple applications and toggling between them. 60 minutes every day. Now, our first objective is to bring all these applications into a single user interface so that they can log on with one username and password and get access to all of these information what they need. But driving efficiency is not just about giving a single entry point and providing access to the application you need, but also automated mining of information, curating content, community management, and reusing the knowledge. So these are some of the capabilities that are offered by the digital workspace. First and foremost, finding information and finding the right experts. Community management, helping colleagues to work in communities and providing them with capabilities that are needed for collaboration, virtually collaborating in communities. In-stream knowledge capture. I heard colleagues saying earlier, you need easy ways to capture tacit knowledge and share with each other. So how can we just open our laptop, switch on our camera, and capture lessons learned and share with the others. It could be also an after-action review or lessons learned, or generating insights out of information that already exists in the organization. And of course, automating and reuse. What does it mean for the employees, for the teams, for the organization? This means that greater productivity, one place to transact all the information you need, content that is personalized for you. Better networking with a massive organization, whether you are new to the organization or whether you have been there 10 years, the employees you need, the experts you need to get your questions answered will be at your fingertips. Greater responsiveness to business partners and customers, validated questions, a validated answer for the questions that you have. Much less stress and more deep work. What I mean by this is, we allow employees to focus on the work that brings the most value to themselves as well as to the organization, not the repetitive, mundane work that they have to do with answering the same question again and again to people who ask those questions. So I want to conclude my talk by showing you the mock-up or the screenshot of the digital workspace. So that is the one place where we find the information. So it knows your profile, it knows who you are, where you're from, where you're located, which department you're working, how long have you been with the organization, what projects are you supporting, who are your colleagues. It knows the context. And based on the context it has, through these apps or widgets, it actively provisions knowledge, or it actively pushes knowledge to you. Of course, you can also pull information by traditional search and then querying the repository and finding the information you need. The good thing about this is these are configurable apps. Think about this as the iPhone. There are certain apps that comes out of the box in your Apple phone, and there are certain others that you go to the Apple Store and download that suits your needs. You might need it for 1 month. After that, you just disable it and then install the other. So these can be configured for each role, each function, or each department. And then it enables knowledge sharing as well. So if you have a question related to a particular topic, when I log on to the digital workspace and I'm an expert at that, I get prompted this question. Claire has this question around this topic, and I have the answer, so I'm going to go and give the answer, and both the question and the answer will be logged in the platform, so that somebody else has the same question, they find the answer that I provided to Claire's question. There are others around communities, some apps around the task. So imagine you have like one widget that brings all the tasks that you have to do in one place. It could be from your HR application, it could be from your training application, or anything that you would want to accomplish. So with that, I hope that you learned a thing or two about how to build a successful knowledge management strategy within your organization, and also when it comes to tools and technologies, there are 2 or 3 things that I would like to share as well. Don't reinvent the wheel. Look for solutions that already exist in your organization. Try and reuse as much as possible. The second one is around look for platform solutions, not single capability solutions that cannot integrate. Once you have chosen the knowledge management platform, try and integrate, try and connect all the relevant sources so that employees have one place to look for this information. With that, I leave the floor open to any questions. Thank you very much for your attention.